Together, we are on a journey to transform Africa with private capital. Our focus is on a triple mandate: to advance high-impact projects to bankability, raise capital, and accelerate the closure of deals. By focusing on investment facilitation for Africa, the Africa Investment Forum has become the premier investment platform for Africa. Africa, ladies and gentlemen, presents such a unique investment opportunity which cannot be ignored. Don't just believe me, believe the data. The New York Times said recently that the world is becoming more African, as 1 out of 4 people in the world by 2050 will be African. The continent's population will double to reach 2.4 billion people by 2050. That will be the same size as the combined population of China and of India today. Population is destiny. Africa will brim with unparalleled demand for consumer goods and services, digital services, as well as housing. In fact, the demand for housing is expected to rise to make an investment opportunity of up to $1.4 trillion. The size of Africa's food and agriculture market will rise to $1 trillion by 2030. Demand for infrastructure presents an annual investment opportunity of at least $170 billion a year, from energy to transport to digital infrastructure, water and sanitation, and many more. Your presence here today shows that you see the investment opportunities for value creation in Africa. Again, believe the data. A survey of asset managers by the Africa Private Equity Capital Association survey for 2024 shows that 85% of limited partners expect to increase allocation of private capital to Africa in the next 2 years. Also, 52% of limited partners expect that private capital in Africa will be more attractive than other emerging markets in 5 years' time. And my dear friend Shagbut, Sheikh Shagbut, thank you for coming from UAE. It's very nice to see you. We are seeing that attractiveness not in 5 years, we are seeing that in attractiveness today. Africa 50, which I chair, launched its $500 million Africa Infrastructure Acceleration Fund, reaching first financial close with 15 institutional investors from Africa. That is a first in Africa itself. The Alliance for Green Infrastructure, AGIA, launched by the African Development Bank, has garnered support of the G7 to mobilize $10 billion for investment in green infrastructure in Africa. The African Development Bank's launch of hybrid capital, the first ever by a multilateral development bank, with an issuance of $750 million, was oversubscribed by 8 times, up to $6 billion, a remarkable demonstration of investors' confidence. Africa, ladies and gentlemen, has become the prime investors' destination in the race for returns in the global energy transition. Boom. That's because Africa will be critical for global energy transition, as it has large deposits of critical minerals. In fact, today I was actually supposed to be in Angola, Luanda, with President Biden, because he's actually paying his official visit there, the Lobito corridor that we are working on. That's why Somalia cannot be here from the African Finance Corporation, because of the fact that there's a lot of interest in this issue of global energy transition and the role that Africa actually plays. Again, believe the data. Africa holds 95% of chromium, 90% of platinum group metals, 2/3 of global reserves of cobalt, 30% of lithium and manganese, and 20% of graphite, all of which are key for green transition, from electric vehicles to battery energy storage systems. And of course, the African Union is working very well on this particular issue of green metal strategy, mineral strategy. And I'm delighted that my sister Nados is here, who is the head of NEPAD. The size of the electric vehicle battery energy storage systems will rise from $7 trillion in 2030 to $59 trillion by 2050. Africa, which currently serves as a supplier of raw materials, has a unique opportunity to move up the critical minerals value chain, investments in critical minerals value-adding industries. Take, for example, that the development of lithium-ion precursor battery plant in Democratic Republic of Congo will be 3 times less expensive than in the United States, China, or Poland, according to Bloomberg NEF report. Africa needs investors in supporting its ambition to become a green energy power hub for the world. Their colleagues and friends, Africa is not as risky. Perception is not reality. Again, believe the data. Moody Analytics assessment of cumulative defaults on infrastructure over a 14-year period shows that Africa has the lowest, the lowest default rates in the world. Default rates were 1.9% for Africa, 6.6% for North America, 10.1% for Latin America, 12.4% for Eastern Europe, and 4.6% for Western Europe and Asia, respectively. The Africa Investment Forum's goal is to help investors take informed investment decisions on projects in Africa. Our purpose remains true today, as it has always been, to match investors with opportunities, to mobilize capital, and to accelerate financial closure for projects. The Africa Investment Forum has a strong record. In the past 5 editions, it has mobilized $180 billion of investor interest to Africa. We always like to say we want investors to feel comfortable in Africa. We want investments in Africa to land like a very good plane on a smooth landing strip. It has fully closed transactions worth $30 billion and continues to fast-track a lot more financial closure on several more projects. I would like to commend our partners, the AIF partners and their staff, for their collaboration and exceptional work. In fact, this year, the AIF partners originated deals worth $15 billion, in itself a record of our partnership. Excellencies, their colleagues and friends, over the next 3 days, we will have 41 investment boardrooms on project opportunities across Africa. The Investor Blast of the AIF Africa Investment Forum reached out to 2,298 single investors. I am delighted to inform you that 1,707 investors from over 200 institutions, you are all here globally, have been cleared to proceed to the investment boardrooms. Thank you all very much for coming. And you are all here from 83 countries. This marks a landmark record for the Africa Investment Forum, and it's an incredible demonstration of appetite for investment projects in Africa. There will be excellent opportunities for business-to-business interactions and engaging panels on how to expand investment opportunities all across Africa. The boardrooms are ready. Project developers are ready. The investors that you are ready. and the governments are ready. Believe me, Africa is bankable. So let the deals begin. Welcome again, and thank you very much.